Let's talk about the dive bar daddy. First, what is a dive bar daddy? You know what? On second thought, don't answer that. I don't know what a dive bar daddy is, nor do I particularly care. More specifically, let's talk about this kid that calls himself the dive bar daddy. Who is the dive bar daddy? Well, that's what everybody's asking, because nobody knows who you are. But I know. Hannibal Rex is the man who calls himself the dive bar daddy, and he's one of Cody Hawk's trainees in the Cody Hawk training camp. This last Saturday, CWAI Warehouse Wars on the road, I was matched up with Hannibal Rex. And I've seen you, kid. I follow everyone who trains with Cody Hawk. Because if you're training with Cody Hawk and you're good enough to make it on a show, that means you're somebody to pay attention to. But I know you have a bad attitude. Even so, I was looking forward to wrestling you. Because I like to give Cody Hawk students a chance. I like to see what they've got. I wanted to give you a good fun match. A competitive match. Then before the match started, you grabbed the microphone, and kid, that's where you made your mistake. Who are you to grab a microphone and start talking to me? I don't know if you know who I am. I'm the heavy metal Viking Hooks. I'm a 14-year veteran in pro wrestling. There's nothing I haven't done in this business. Kid, you're not going to out-talk me, and you're sure not going to out-fight me. But I was anxious to hear what you had to say. And that's when it all started. The heavy metal nobody. The old fossil, the dinosaur. You were going to prove a point by taking out the biggest and the baddest, you said. And I didn't take it personal, because I really don't care what the dive bar daddy thinks of Hooks. But you crossed a line. You crossed a line that no one in your position should cross. So then it immediately went from a wrestling match to a trip to the woodshed. It was time to teach you a lesson. And teach you a lesson I did. I bashed your brains in, and then I speared you like a Mack truck, and then I pinned you. And I thought that was the end of it. But just this week, I see where you've posted a video online, putting my name in your mouth again. Talking about how your daddy taught you a lesson when you were young and said, son, if you go to prison, you find the biggest and baddest dude in the yard and you punch him in the face to prove you're somebody to not be messed with. Well, I'll say it now. Your daddy gave you some pretty good advice. The problem is, you didn't follow through. You picked the biggest, baddest, toughest, meanest guy in the yard, and you took your best shot, and it wasn't good enough. I'm still standing. I wasn't hurting after that match. You were laying on your back looking at the lights. So all you did was prove how much talk you are. Now, I know you're a tough kid. I was in there with you. You got a couple good shots on me, but not enough. And apparently you didn't get enough because you've asked for another match this Friday at the warehouse. Well, that match has been signed, Hannibal Rex. That match has been signed, Dive Bar Daddy. And instead of proving a point, all you've done is poke a bear with a sharp stick. You see, I respected you a little bit for trying to boast. I respected you a little bit for trying to prove something. And even now, there's a small part of me that respects you for doing this again. For having the guts to step up and run me down again. For having the guts to step up and want to take another beating. For that, There's a small part of me that respects you. But there's an even larger part of me that plans on grabbing you by the collar and running my fist down your throat. So this Friday, Warehouse Wars, CWAI. School's in session again. This time it's lesson number 2. The lesson to be learned here: don't anger the heavy metal Viking. Don't poke the bear with a sharp stick. Because even though I respect your effort, I will shut that down immediately. Hannibal Rex, I'll see you Friday.